am. I
No.
am. I am. And
I
I
know
don't.
he's hiding. You gotta pin us. Where's our peeps?
How do I pin you?
Oh no,
Not
no,
you,
I
him.
got you.
Oh, him. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, don't ask me to do technical stuff. This is not
Yeah.
what I signed on for.
No.
All good.
Kidding.
So I had to take us live on YouTube, so we're actually live right now, which is fine.
Okay.
This is very so. Just so you know, like totally informal. I mean, it's a little formal, but it's mostly informal. It's just an open
Okay.
discussion, so it doesn't have to be like rigid or anything. And we, like as you see right now, we're sort of spotlighted. I'm going to introduce
Okay.
you. We're going to do a little bit of an intro, but we'll introduce you and then we'll bring you up and spotlight you and then we'll just get into it. So,
Yeah,
and
sounds
then
good. I'm cool with improv, laid
Yeah.
back,
cool.
Yeah.
go with the flow.
Love it. And then we,
Absolutely.
it's sort of hit or miss, like how many people actually jump onto the Zoom with us, but they'll be in sort of the background. And if people have questions, they can raise their hand and all that fun stuff. So
Yeah.
cool. All right. Well, we have reached another Friday, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, we
Woo
have.
woo.
Welcome to the show. Thank you all
Welcome,
for being
everyone.
here.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I'm trying to go live on Facebook at the same
Oh, there you go.
time.
Well, so
Okay.
how are you doing, Pansy?
I am actually doing better than I was. Uh,
Oh, that's
I
good.
was like, I have not been well the last several days. I don't know. But
Yeah.
um, you know, this
You've
weather,
also been extremely busy and you've also some stress, but you sounds like you found a contractor that's going to help you with your property, right?
I did. Yeah, so I wasn't feeling the greatest earlier, but I got a call from a contractor friend that was stranded and asked if I could help, and I said yeah, and I hopped in and helped him.
Nice.
So now
Nice.
he, and then afterwards he's like, well, I'm out here by your house, so I may as well check it out. Like
Yeah.
because we had planned this like a few weeks ago and it didn't quite work out that way. So yeah, we walked the house and he's like, yeah, this is not bad. I think we could get it done. He's like, let's write some stuff up and put it in front of, he's got even his own lenders. So he's a ground up construction builder.
That's awesome.
That's
And so
been,
and it was sort of a mutual benefit type of thing. You went and helped him and now he's down to help you with your property, right? So that's kind of how it works.
yeah, yeah. He's like, I just need a team. He's like,
Yeah. Don't we all?
he's like, I have the way to get stuff done. He's like, I got the money. I got I got the knowledge.
Right.
I just need the team. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, let's go. So,
Love it. And
Yeah.
by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is like Pansy's one of her superpowers. Just going out and building those organic relationships with people. And but it's we've talked about it before. It's more than just like, you know, business, right?
yeah,
Like Pansy actually reaches out to people to see how they're doing, and even when it's not, it doesn't always have to be about business. In fact, people, if you haven't talked to people for a long time and then the next time you reach out to them, it's to ask for money or to ask, if they have any deals or things like, it's like you're not as, what's the word I'm thinking of? I guess you're more kind of in the back of their head. You're not considered a friend. You're not, it's maybe more of an acquaintance kind of thing. And that can still be okay. It's not that that's terrible, but it means a lot to people when you actually, I'll just say it, give a shit about them. So,
true.
and right. And then like Pansy's really, really good at that. In fact, I would say yes, Chris, that's probably the right way to say it. It's not a real relationship at that point. It's just kind of like they're an acquaintance and you kind of reach out when you need something. Um, but anyways, I'm glad to hear that. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And I actually went, so I'll talk a little bit about this without going too deep in the weeds, but I actually am looking at going and securing a personal loan, which is a little new to deploy into a project. And so we'll see what I qualify for, but it's kind of an interesting product. I'm gonna see what it's like to actually go through this because if it's a gigantic pain in the ass, I may not. I mean, out for other people too. But it's an
You
interesting
could at
thing.
least give an honest
Yeah,
feedback opinion, right,
yeah,
of the process
yeah,
and whether or not, you
yeah.
chose to go with it.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you can get up to 100,000 in unsecured personal loan money. Now, there's some challenges if you're deploying it for business purposes. I need to be careful about how I do that, but there's a way to do it the right way. It's like, come on, guys, if you can't build from $100,000, I don't know what to tell you at that point, right? Although I will say it's easy to get swindled, so you do have to be careful, right? Because there's
Yeah.
plenty of people that'll take your money gladly, right? The trick is getting paid back, right? So that's what I'm working through right now. So it's an interesting thing. Well, I'll share more about it as time goes on, but that's kind of where we're at. But without further ado, so I'm interested to have this conversation because it's an interesting topic. Our friend Erin's on with us today, but there's like, yeah, I was thinking about this because the title of the show is How Not to Abandon Yourself.
Hmm.
And that's a really that could mean a lot of things to a lot of people, a lot of
Yeah.
different things to a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
It's like when I think of that, I think of like moments when, you know, when you say yes, like your brain is saying yes to something, but your whole body and internal monologue is saying no. What I think of is like the self-sabotage stuff that happens in your subconscious too. That's kind of where my brain goes with it.
Yeah. I don't know. When I think of it like some of the things I went through, like just trying to take care of my family,
Yeah.
and neglecting my own health, right?
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, there's many things.
That's actually a good one. That's
Yeah.
definitely a good example. I mean, I think of it for me, it's like when you shrink yourself, right? When you shrink or silence yourself or you do some of these things when you should be doing the exact opposite, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of part of it, right?
Well,
But
I mean, to say shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? But
true.
I'm just saying, yes, there's many times there might be different choices and
Yeah.
situations, you know.
Well, I,
But
I'm a
we'll definitely let Erin tell us,
yes, we will. We will.
from her perspective, right?
And I mean, I got plenty of questions
I'm
on this.
sure you do, Justin, and I appreciate that about you.
One of the biggest things for me, like I'm a what's the word I would like to use for this? I'm a terminal people pleaser sometimes, right?
Oh
Or
no.
no, actually, you know what I should say? I'm a recovering people pleaser.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
There you
I'm a
go.
recovering people pleaser. And so and when you do that, right? And now you become a people pleaser out of a need for um safety. Like it comes from a place of just like, security, especially when you're younger, right? If you grew up in a situation where, doing that was easier than the alternative and it just kind of kept you out of a lot of nonsense, like you build that muscle. And a lot of times what that means for me is like you choose someone else's comfort, someone else's, you know, comfort and emotional
And you
stability
kind
over
of
your own.
abandon your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the expense of your own, right?
Yeah, right.
Anyways, that's kind of where my brain goes, but I'm excited to bring up Erin. Let's bring up
Yeah.
Erin and
I haven't
get
talked to
into
her in a
this.
while.
Uh,
Hey,
I
Erin,
know. I'm gonna
finally
get
we
a
got
picture
you
of the three
on
of us too.
here.
I know. It's been craziness. All good. I've never been so grateful to be so exhausted in my life with lots of good business stuff going on and
nice.
learning in the process. And
Yeah.
That's amazing.
it's, it's, yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, like, for folks who don't know you, give us a little bit of rundown. How did you get started in what you're doing, and where do you hail from? Just give us
What are
the
you
rundown.
doing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
we
are
want
you
Gosh,
to know
doing?
all
yeah.
of it.
I know.
I've got a lot going on, but it's all good. So about 2.5 years ago, I went through a divorce.
Hmm.
And speaking of self-abandonment, so in that process, I had, I worked in a mortgage company. I worked as a medical sales rep. I worked in construction. I was like, what do I do with this hodgepodge of knowledge? So I
Yeah.
got into, real estate investing because everybody was doing it.
Mhm.
And I didn't realize how much joining a mentorship, along with a lot of other self-help work that I was doing on my own, was going to be the basis for so much change in my life. Just working with other people that were in a growth mindset, that were in a self-help mindset, that were taking messy action before they were ready, just
Mhm.
getting uncomfortable with being uncomfortable, and how that's taken me in 2.5 years. So now I have two
Yeah.
business partners. We've got about 12 properties. We have a real estate portfolio, which is not easy. It's not a get rich quick scheme.
Mhm.
After doing this for 2 years solid, we're
Mhm.
still, dealing with stuff, still not
Yeah.
totally profitable,
Yeah.
pivoting. I mean, you've got to pivot constantly. I've been a
Yeah.
group fitness instructor for over 25 years. I've been into fitness and health and just coaching people my whole life. So part of my mentorship group last year was, what do you want to do with your life? So it was more, I got into the coaching side of things. I love real estate.
Mhm.
Um, love it as a passive way to do income, a long-term wealth, but it's not as much my passion. So my passion is helping others. When I went through a divorce 2.5 years ago, I told my counselor, I'm going to love myself and teach others how to do the same. And she was like, well, let's just focus on you first. But now we're there because I was
Yeah.
determined to have the impact, help others, serve others. And that's been a big part of the community and the people that I've put myself around.
Nice.
So now I coach midlife women, everyone around me. I work at multiple gyms, and recently in April, I teamed up with two other partners and we bought out a gym that was failing.
Oh, wow.
And that has been a huge challenge.
Yeah.
It was in way worse shape than we realized when we bought it.
Yeah.
So that was a, business, huge surprise. We had way less members that were on the books. We hadn't closed the deal, and given what we paid for it, it still was better than starting from scratch. But
Right.
the three of us have been hustling, and then we've hired Gym Launch, which you guys may know
I
was Alex
know Alex Hormozy. I
Hormozzi's
was literally just
Oh,
gonna say
nice.
you
No,
should
I
check
already
out
know.
Gym Launch. You're like
business.
already done it.
Yeah, one of my partners used them before. They're phenomenal, but it's not
Mhm.
just a marketing company, it's a mentorship. So I'm in two mentorships. One's for coaching called PT Domination, which I love. Brian Mark and Cole Silva have been game changing in my life. I've got two coaches from their business that DM me on the regular, like just so many people keeping me accountable. And then we've got Gym Launch keeping us accountable. We've done amazing things in 2 months.
Yeah.
We've gotten 21 to 25 people each month,
Nice.
May and June, which is a lot, but it's still
Yeah.
not where we need to be.
Yeah.
And then I've become the gym coach, therapist.
Mhm.
You just don't realize people and emotions and feelings and personalities. So the past 2 days, I've talked to different people off a ledge. I was like, well, this is
Oh
what
man. Yeah.
this is what I've done the work for.
Yeah.
I'm also a recovering people pleaser.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a very hard
Guilty.
muscle to
Mhm.
learn to say no.
Yeah.
But the more you do it, the more rewarding and the easier it becomes.
Yes, it does. I've been practicing for several years now. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't like me for it, but
Hey.
You
I like,
lose
yeah,
a lot of friends when you
yeah.
become authentic, when you're growth minded, when you're self-aware,
Yeah.
when you're doing things to make you better. Not everybody is on that path.
That's right. And they're gonna resent you sometimes too. People are gonna resent you for
I
that
can't worry
being on the
about
path.
other people's feelings.
That's right. Yeah. That's exactly right. Well, plug the gym. Where's the gym at?
Oh, our gym is in Roswell, Georgia. It is called Apex
Okay.
Fitness Roswell. We took over a gym that was doing CrossFit, that the clientele really had gotten over. We're middle-aged people. We were more longevity. So our program is amazing.
Yeah.
We do strength, a mix of cardio, a mix of mobility.
Nice.
So it's so much different. It's a lot more volume, but a lot more functional, based more on longevity.
Yeah.
We're also running programs for 6-week challenges where we help people with nutrition
Yeah.
not just the working out, helping them really change their identity
Yeah.
That's a big
and
one though,
the
Erin.
accountability that goes with it.
Yeah.
We
Huge.
have become a gym that our members are our biggest promoters right now, which is just amazing to see people that love us and love you. And when we took over, I know we lost Pansy.
Well, she turned her camera off, so it's gonna
Okay.
unspot. That's all right.
When
She'll
we
be back.
took over
Hmm.
the gym, the people just supported us, but the previous owner was unavailable. He was
Right.
missing in action. So the
Right.
three of us have like almost literally been in the gym every single day. We're running everything, we're coaching all the classes, we're present, we're in touch with members. I mean, this weekend I spent calling people that haven't showed up, that weren't there this week. Hey, what's going on? Are you okay? Like, and that's part
I
of
don't know many gyms that do that. Like, unless, I mean, I guess if you're enrolled and there's a particular, teacher or coach or whatever, they might do that. But like you guys, that makes sense that your members are promoting you guys because it's real, right? They can tell that you guys actually care about that. And by the way, yeah, you'll never outwork a bad diet, a bad, life habits. Like it's hard to work out and get in shape when you're eating poorly and all of that,
right.
right?
Your
So,
your workout's like 5%. It
yeah,
really is a much
yeah,
smaller percent. Now,
yeah,
how it affects your physique is more,
yeah,
but how, far as effect on your body, if you're not eating right, doing the habits at home, like that's what I'm talking about. Women with hormone issues are like, oh, well, my hormones kicked in and I'm fat and my life has gone to shit. And I was like, that's kind of a cop out.
yeah,
There's a lot more involved with your habits, and it's something over time. So I literally get paid to help women eat, sleep, and move.
yeah,
I'm back.
And
yeah.
and it
Sorry.
seems like it should be so simple and easy, but just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy. And in entrepreneurship, we've heard that a
Yep.
million times,
Well, I
right?
would say the same thing about real estate. So
Right.
the idea behind real estate is it is simple, but it's not easy, right? So same idea. Um, well, let me ask you a question because we got into this a little bit in the introduction. We were talking about kind of like what
Yeah.
this don't abandon yourself or how not to abandon yourself. And it's like when I think about abandoning myself, my brain goes to like the self-sabotage, right? The putting, and especially like I said, like recovering people pleaser. You put others' well-being at ahead of your at the expense of your own, essentially.
Mhm.
Doing things like that, it compounds. Like there's nothing wrong with, putting others ahead of you in certain situations, right? And caring about others, over yourself in certain situations. But when you're doing that all the time, that stuff compounds and you almost lose a sense of yourself, right? Because it's like, and then on top of that, people start expecting it of you. That's the other
Mhm.
part that we don't like to talk is that people just you start doing that and they're like, the minute you say no or you can't, it's like, hey, what's up, bro? I thought you were, I thought we were friends. Yeah, it's like, no,
Yeah.
I gotta take care of me. Um, what does that mean to you? What is not abandoning yourself actually mean to you? I'm curious.
It's not, I think self-abandonment is you're putting others before you to kind of control the situation, to make
Mm,
it easier on yourself. When you
ooh,
mentioned
interesting.
shrinking
Yeah.
earlier, yeah, you shrink so that you reduce chaos, you reduce drama. Ultimately, you're trying to make something easier on yourself by controlling the situation and controlling other people.
Yeah.
And what I've learned doing it over the years is often it comes from childhood and it's very unconscious.
Interesting. Yeah, that
So
that
I
makes
feel
sense.
like that's why we stay in it so long, because
Yeah.
it's something we learned at an early age
Yep.
and we don't even know we did it.
Yep.
I've done it for years. I had a type personality of man partner that I was attracting because of
Hmm.
my own issues of
Hmm.
not being loved, not loving myself, never being taught that.
Yeah.
needing validation from an outside source.
Yeah.
So I was drawn to something that was familiar, even though it was horribly toxic, because those were unconscious emotions. Those were things that I had done in survival mode as a
Mhm.
child.
Yep.
And that survival mode transferred into adult life. And at
Yep.
48 years old, after a second divorce, doing some hardcore work on myself, after that, I was like, whatever this shit is that I'm doing, that I keep ending up repeating the same patterns, I need to figure out, because it's going to stop now.
Yeah.
And in the course of doing my work, I was like, I married my mother. And that was
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
really tough
Yeah.
smack in the face
Yeah.
at 48 years old,
Yeah.
to kind of the pieces of the puzzle were fitting together. And I was in this
Oh,
house.
man.
I was walking my neighborhood. I was listening to Dr. Romani and Lisa A. Romano on repeat. Like I couldn't get enough of it. I was listening to Dr. Romano out walking on the street and had that epiphany of
Epiphany.
good
Yeah.
grief. Now, how do I fix this? Right? How do
Yeah.
I not abandon myself? How do I continue to shrink? And it's something that's so ingrained in our wiring that it's got to be a very conscious effort. And it's
Mhm.
really easy to slip back into that.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be so challenging because it really is. It's at the subconscious level at that point, and it's like so ingrained in your subconscious. But the cool thing is once you see it for what it is, that's the kind of the first step is just recognizing it, right?
Mhm.
First, like anything else, admitting you have a problem, right? Like they say in AA.
Yeah, the first
Um,
step is realizing you have a problem.
And
That's
right?
that's
a tough
huge because a
one.
lot of people never, ever do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, it's
horribly
a tough
sad.
one. I mean, you and I went through some similar, situations. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, I seen a lot of red flags and I chose to ignore them.
Oh
And,
God.
for comfort, oh, I don't want to stir the pot,
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the red flags were like around my neck, each arm, ankle pulling me in different
I'm looking for
directions.
my
And I guess I just
tweezers.
thought it was a circus,
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like, oh, this looks like fun.
I'm
Yeah.
listening
Yeah.
This is
to them.
really familiar. This chaotic mess is so familiar, but at the same time, exhausting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is 100%. Let me ask you this, like I've got some ideas of like what are some subtle ways that you've seen, people abandoning themselves like in this way, like without even realizing what, like give us some examples of some ways that people or what you've seen and people like sort of
Yeah.
behaving that way
Well,
without
what
even
you
really
said
realizing it.
earlier was saying one of the hugest things is saying yes when you mean no.
Yeah.
Doing the favor, doing the things, trying to appease others. You
Yeah.
don't want to stir the pot or poke the bear. So
Yeah.
you're just going to go along to get along. And
Yeah.
it's that shrinking, it's that self-abandonment that
Yeah.
just etches away at who you are, your confidence and your own self-love and self-worth
Yep.
over time.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
the hugest one. And because I'm empathetic and a compassionate person, which I see quite often, is we sometimes are more compassionate for others than we are ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a big one for sure.
And just
Absolutely.
because, like, I'm an analyzer, I'm going to look and I'm going to see, like, I can look at my mom and see how her parents treated her. I can see how she was raised. I can see how it affected her. I can see how it affected her marriage with my dad. I can see how it affected me. But just because I understand it doesn't make it okay. And I had like a friend I talked to yesterday was in an abusive relationship with someone who's toxic and an alcoholic. And then she's saying to me things that were familiar. But it's just so sad to see them. And I understand what they went through and I understand why they're this way. And you can see it, you can understand it, but it doesn't mean that it's not hurting you and it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
not detrimental to who
Yeah.
you are. So you have to take that compassion away from them and put it back on yourself. And it's so hard when you're an empathetic,
It
caring
is.
person
Yeah. It very, it
Absolutely.
because it
100% is.
feels selfish. It
Yeah.
feels, and then I've been told that I'm selfish by people
Yeah.
that were toxic and unhealthy because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a defense mechanism and it's
Yeah.
an easy way to push it
Listen.
back on you. And then
Yeah.
because we're kind, caring people, you're like, oh my gosh, am I? Am I being
Yeah, you
selfish?
start questioning yourself. Yeah. And
Hmm.
by the way, that kind of gaslighting, that kind of guilt tripping is totally common, especially from people taking advantage of you.
Yeah,
In
for
fact,
sure.
I would even say like that should be your first sign when you start take care of yourself and you start to get that kind of pushback from people. Those are probably the first people you should run, not walk away from, in my opinion. I
Right.
mean,
So
Yeah.
many friends lost with boundaries, and then I stopped drinking alcohol almost
yeah,
2 years ago. So you realize how many shallow relationships you have with that,
it's
and people
right.
just like disperse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's difficult though. It's not even like people disturb. I just don't have like the interest to go hang out at like bars and stuff and
Yeah.
talk like surface level stuff. And there's where my thing was like, then people think that you're too good. Like, oh, you're too good. No, I just don't want to be smelling alcohol on people's
I get
breath.
up at 4 in the morning and go lead
Yeah.
people at the gym. Like it doesn't fit
Yeah.
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 what
Yeah.
my life. It doesn't fit
I
Yeah.
my
tell people
identity.
too.
Yeah,
Well, I was gonna say I tell people too, like it's not that it's not that there's anything wrong per se with having a drink every once in a while. It's just not my thing. I don't like feeling like crap the next day. Like, yeah, sure, you hang out, you feel great for a little while, for a few hours, but for me, like, man, that the next day is just I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
It saps all my energy. I lose a day almost. Well, no, you do
I
lose a
lose
day.
several days.
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
and yeah, like we
We're not
ain't
20
20.
anymore.
Yeah, you're not
No.
20 anymore. And even when you are 20, you're still losing a day. If you're gonna go do that, you're gonna lose a day. Like, at
But you
least.
don't realize how damaging it really is when if
Yeah.
you do consume it regularly, right?
Yeah.
Like and overdo it.
Yeah.
There's just been so many studies about the brain and your health and
Yeah.
like I mean, you would have thought me growing up around alcoholics that I wouldn't have really wanted to drink, but I did drink. I wouldn't never say that I was an alcoholic or I couldn't deal without it. But every like social event or whatever, right,
Hmm.
was everybody's consuming alcohol. And yeah, as you got older, you felt like real crap afterwards. It's like,
Yeah.
Well, it's
what else
so
is this
socially
doing?
acceptable. I mean, there's
Yeah,
commercials of people playing
yeah,
volleyball and
yeah,
drinking, and you're like, this is unrealistic. It's propaganda,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
common, it's familiar. We go
yeah,
back to what's familiar.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped. So like that, like I stopped hanging around with certain people because every family event was everybody drinking. And I'm like, how is this for kids? You know, and type of thing. And, you know, I would be like, look, if people want to drink, you're gonna have to do that like somewhere else, like during
Yeah.
kids events. Come on, kids parties.
Oh yeah.
Like I was just didn't feel like it was appropriate, whether I drink or not. So, but yeah,
Well, and kids aren't stupid either, right? It's like if you're
Mhm.
gonna do that and they see that like every time the family gets together, every time you and your friends get together, like that's what you're doing. Like kids pick up on that very, very quickly.
yeah, we
So
have to be
and
better examples. We don't really
yes.
some of the things
Mhm.
that were passed on
Yeah.
to us. Like you
Yeah.
said, it
Right.
was just socially accepted, and so everybody continues to do it,
Yeah.
and I really was wanting to change a lot of that in my family.
Yeah.
And obviously you too,
Yeah.
Erin. So
And
I,
as the
Well,
identity of my gym, of my coaching program, of raising children, it's like, don't just do what I say, do what I do. So I
yeah.
yeah,
feel like
Yeah.
walking the walk and talking the talk has to go hand in hand. So I can't say, be
Yeah.
healthy, get better sleep, work out, and I'm over here, getting drunk every day.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
That's
Coming into the
100%.
gym hungover, because then I have to put on an act to be somebody else at the
Yeah.
gym. Like when I show up at 5 in the morning and get the party started, that's really who I am. I'm not faking it. I'm not hungover. Yes, there might be days when I'm tired, but I'm generally genuinely excited to be there and be around these people and
And
do
you
what we're
get
doing.
energy from them and they get energy
Oh
from
yeah,
you, right? Yeah.
completely.
That's the way it should be.
I love
And
it.
people can pick up on that too. Like if you're not being genuine, like it doesn't take long for a lot of people to be able to pick up on that. Like, you know, it's maybe not always easy to tell with people, but I would say if you know someone or you've been around someone long enough, you can tell when it's fake, you know? Like our spidey sense tends to, I know mine does, right? Starts to pick up on it. Um, what do you think? Like, I feel like going or low maintenance with kind of like their identity, right? And when in fact it is they're literally practicing self-abandonment. Why do you think people confuse that? Is it maybe just a cop out? Like it's just kind of how they maybe they don't even realize they're doing it. So they to give it a name, they just kind of say, "Oh, I'm just, I'm just laid back, you know. I don't really
Hmm.
ruffle the feathers or they I feel like people confuse those things.
I would even say it's more of a defense mechanism.
That's probably true. Yeah, that's probably true.
And then a survival tactic to go along, like I said before, to go along, to get along. And it's hard to
Mm.
have boundaries because you risk losing people with boundaries. My friend I talked to yesterday was, oh, this guy, and I can see the pain that he's going through. Okay,
Mm.
but he's causing you more pain. You have to push that away. And
Ooh,
then
yeah.
my family's part of what's toxic, but they're all I have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but they're still not helping you. And my advice to
Yeah.
her was put the phone on do not disturb, push everybody away, have a nice meal, get a bath, read, meditate, take some time for just you. What can you do right now that makes you feel good, that makes Cindy feel good,
Yeah.
and stop worrying about everybody else?
Yeah.
And part of the trauma that we've been through that makes us people pleasers, that makes us shrink, that makes us abandon ourselves, makes it very easy to continue to do that and put others first and to feel selfish and to feel guilty about boundaries. So you've got to just take those baby steps that don't sound like a big deal. Getting better sleep, hydrating,
Yeah.
moving your body, like simple things. And I know I'm a fitness instructor, so I'm going to go there anyway. But it's simple things like that that can show yourself love and just telling people no. And it's hard because you risk losing them. It could be family members, it could be people you've been friends with for a long time.
Yeah.
But self-awareness and boundaries, it comes with meeting new people. Like I met Pansy, we met Jesse, I met
Mhm.
people in groups that I would have not been open to meeting before when I was not in such a healthy place
Yeah.
emotionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would argue that like at a certain point of practicing more of these sort of self-love habits, you start to recognize you get more sensitive to the people that are taking that energy away from you as time goes on. And then look, if they're family, if they're people that are true friends, true family that love you, they'll get over it. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And if they don't get over it, then, good riddance, in my opinion. And I know that's easy to say sitting here, but I've already experienced some of that, right? With older friends. It's like, sorry, not interested, right? It's and having to set, look, man, talk about setting boundaries, how difficult it is to set boundaries sometimes. But yeah, they'll understand. Maybe they don't understand right then, but they will eventually understand, right? If they're truly your friend, if they truly love
Right.
you or
And
family, right?
peace has become a commodity. I
Yes.
didn't
Yes.
was living in chaos for so
Yes.
long, dealing with other people's chaos, the
Yep.
exhaustion,
Yep.
and it was stealing so much of my energy. I would say that, the life was being sucked out of me, but I was giving people the straw to
Yep.
Yep.
do
Just
so.
suck it out of
Yep.
you. Yep.
So when it came down to, okay, Erin, these habits, these patterns that you've done are not working for you. What do I need to do to change? I had to take all the responsibility of all the shitty relationships, all the abandonment, all the low self-worth. That was all me.
Yeah.
And make the change and find the awareness that was very hard
Yeah. Yeah.
to give up on old patterns, but it's
Yeah.
survival and it's exhausting. So
Yeah.
now peace is the top priority and feeling people's energy. Like right now running three businesses, like again, never been so grateful to be so exhausted, but my bandwidth is very small, which has also helped my boundaries because I literally don't have time for the bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. People don't
Yep.
get it. I mean, more recently, I've had some people that want to be more argumentative and in text, and I'm like, I don't do that.
Yep.
Like, I'm not, yeah, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for the drama, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's really difficult for people to understand that, like, about certain things. Like, I will turn down money if the energy is not with, like, if I'm not feeling the energy.
If you're not, especially if you're not aligned, right?
Yeah.
I would say so for someone like yourself, Erin, like you spent years like me too, like prioritizing like everyone else. Where would someone even begin rebuilding that trust with themselves? Or maybe better yet, like where did you begin on that journey? Like
Mm.
what was some of the first
I
things you started doing?
started, I went back to church,
Mm,
which was huge for me, got into faith, leaned
mm,
into some friends that were around me. I
mm,
think one of the first services I went to, our pastor was talking about, we all know the person that's like, "Oh, you remember Bob 5 years ago? He screwed me over and bought that car from him, and that car was a lemon." And he can tell you every detail about that story and how mad they were, and they can get right back into that negative emotion.
mm.
So the concept of the pasture and the speech was, you can be bitter or you can be better.
Hmm.
Mm.
And that resonated with me so much. I had a friend today who's struggling with the gym. He's struggling with some mental health stuff and is letting everybody else affect him. He's comparing himself to others. And I'm like, listen,
Yeah.
you're doing things that are out of your control instead of focusing on you. And you have a choice in life. You can be bitter or you can be better. And once you make that choice to be better, it's always finding that way. It's finding that self-awareness. So then I was literally found a couple people on YouTube. It was all free. I also went to BetterHelp counseling and got some help from there. But what I was listening to, people talking about self-love, betraying themselves, being in particular toxic relationships when I was in, and I just listened and listened and listened and educated myself. And that's how I learned about the unconsciousness, about the childhood trauma. That's how I put the pieces of the puzzle together to figure out what I was doing. This was my
Yeah.
doing. I was in this situation. No one's coming to save you. The only one getting you out of this is you. So you need to learn and change and grow and
Yeah.
make different choices if you want a different outcome. We
I
all
love it.
heard
Yeah.
the definition of insanity. It's doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting and I was doing it
I remember. Yeah.
unconsciously. It was like a moth to the flame. I
Yeah.
was
Erin, you're just saying so many things that I have, like, said myself, and
Mm.
a lot of, similar things that I have gone through to get myself healthy, right? Like, and kudos to you. Like, you're rocking it. And, like, yeah, I really love that you built yourself back up and are doing this for other people, because for one, I know how difficult it is. I'm still
right. It's
working through
not been
it.
easy. And I have friends say, "Oh my God, that sounds so exhausting." I'm like, but it's the best work I've ever done. And
Mhm.
it has been
Yeah.
so worth it. And now I have friends. Talk to my friend yesterday, she's like, "You're so strong. You're so much stronger than me." But I wasn't when I
No,
started this
right?
journey.
Yeah. You
It's
had to
been
find the
a
strength, right?
process of little tiny habits and little tiny changes. And every day you've got to adjust because the unconscious stuff pops back up. It's easy to
Hmm.
people please. It's easy to ignore the stuff. Now I'm in a
Mhm.
position as an owner of the gym and I'm a woman with two other men, and they're kind of like, "Oh, you handle the emotional stuff." Right, which is fine, which is, one of my friends
That sounds
was
like what a guy would say.
was
And
a
that's
little upset that he wasn't coddled
uh
by a coach that's a
mm,
man. And I'm like, if that is not his personality, and you
yeah.
wanting him to act like somebody else or an old coach that you know from 2 years ago, that's unrealistic expectations.
Hmm.
I
And
can
what's the out?
appreciate that. I can
Right.
appreciate that somebody who is a little maybe more I don't know, blunt, I don't know, abrupt,
Yeah.
then and someone else needing, maybe they feel they need it a little less abrupt. Because I'm usually the blunt one. And
Right.
everyone, not everyone, I shouldn't say everyone, many times, some people, I've rubbed the wrong way. And everything after that is an argument with them. And
Mm,
it's like, no, look, I get over things really quick. I really do. And I'm
Hmm.
never trying to be mean. But sometimes just the way I was raised and everything, like it just comes out the way it is, right? I'm just trying to get to the point and be blunt and, and so, and
mm.
I can sometimes not relate to people who need it a little gentle.
Hmm. Oh, it was a struggle for me this morning to listen to a friend. He was causing a little drama in the gym. And then also, you're expecting, I was like, this coach is not the empathetic kind of person. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't care and he doesn't love being here, doesn't love what he does. But then, just like you're going through something and you have a past that has molded you, that has given you this reaction. This
Mm-hmm.
person has a past and a life that has molded them into someone that's not empathetic. Like we joke around, we had a horrible leg workout yesterday, which I love. And then the coach is like, oh, yes, like love torture. That's just that personality came from life experiences, right? And you're expecting something from someone that's not available. That's why I'm here, right? It's different personalities. And if you run away from this, you're just going to go someone else and find other people. There's always going to be people that don't match your personality and
Yeah.
don't meet the expectations that you want from them. That's life.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Yeah,
And it doesn't mean they're wrong, doesn't mean you're wrong, but it's adjusting and being adaptable. And
yeah, I would say that there's some of that is self-awareness, is just to kind of understand like, hey, this person's not matching me. I get rubbed the wrong way, just kind of working with this person. But then you're right, it's a expectation thing. We got to set expectations here at a certain point, you know, see it for what it is and move on, or maybe ask for a different coach if you can, or whatever. But yeah, to have those expectations that they're going to change for you, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
and
That's it.
right. And then speak up. We run classes where we have 3 classes in the morning, back to back to back. So we don't have the time to be like, hey, let's walk over here in the kitchen and have a conversation. We've got people coming in, people leaving,
Yeah.
people working out, all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff going on. So maybe, hey, coach, the way you said this rubbed me the wrong way, or I felt a certain way. Maybe we could have a conversation outside of here when we both have a minute to be present. Because I had a girlfriend say to me about not sleeping well. And we were texting and I'm like, are you doing your magnesium? And she goes, obviously, you haven't been listening if you
Whoa.
think that my sleep problems are blah, blah, blah. And I was
Whoa.
like, thank you for letting me know. And you're right. I'm exhausted, running 3 businesses. And I was not listening to her because there's a lot going on in the gym. And
Mhm.
so self-awareness, I see that you're saying that. Now I realize you mentioned your dog had surgery and keeping you up at night. Sorry
Mm.
that I haven't been as present in the moment with you in the gym. Like, we used to be gym buddies. Now I'm coach and owner in a
Mhm.
real different place of responsibility in the
Yeah,
gym.
totally different
So, and
situation.
I
Yeah.
appreciate, please call me out. I only associate with other people where we can do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. To grow together, right? Like that's
Right.
the best
Please let
part.
me
Like,
know that I
yeah.
was not hearing you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you for saying it. And
Yeah.
yes, I will take a pause and say, you're right. I wasn't sorry. I haven't been as present there. Different situation. Thanks for letting me know. It has been a whole new way to grow,
Yeah.
just different personalities. And,
Yeah. Yeah, but there's,
you're like a therapist.
I like that
Yeah.
too. I like being called out because it helps me. And I've been called out many times. Like, look, it helps me to kind of take a step back and reflect on myself and what I'm doing. So it's helpful. But there's a fine line. I'm going to say this. I've said it before. There's a really fine line between speaking your truth and speaking without thinking. So just be careful.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you might be feeling unheard or something like that, but that comes with awareness as well. Like, you to understand who you're talking to and what, understand a little bit of how what they respond to, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, she was feeling a certain way about it and felt she needed to call you out, which is great. And you're receptive to that. There's plenty of people that won't be receptive to that kind of stuff, right? And will push back on that. But I would argue maybe that they need to do some work on themselves too. But
Hmm.
either way, got to be a little bit, just be aware, right? But that comes with doing the work, right?
And
And
awareness
yeah,
is not easy. I have a good
it's not.
friend
Yeah.
who's emotionally intelligent,
Hmm.
really aware of others, not so aware
So, yeah.
internally, because it's gotten
Yeah.
easier to focus on others than it is yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's much easier. Like being self-aware is a gift and a curse at the same time.
I agree.
Yeah.
But also the type of people, like I'd say we all are, the people pleasers, now that we're
Former.
self-aware, we're also very adaptable.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We've all seen the rigid, strict personality. When I say you could be bitter or you can be better, you've seen the
Yep.
bitter people and they're
Yep.
stuck on that path. It doesn't matter what new information comes to them. They're not going to change their mind. You can't
Hmm.
change their mind. Nobody can change their mind. And not being adaptable is something that's really hurting people in the long run. So even though
Yeah.
we might have been through shit, we might have been through hell, the fact that we have become self-aware and done the work and we're adaptable, we're going to have so much of a better future because of it and so many
Yeah.
better relationships because of it.
I
What
agree.
what oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm curious what your answer. What are some of the warning signs like your body gives you when you're ignoring your own well-being,
Intuition.
like your own intuition? Like what are
Mm.
some of the things that your own like I've got some ideas about this, but maybe describe kind of what your body does to you. It tells you that like, hey, you need to take a step back and like realize that you're rejecting your own well-being here, or your own truth, I guess, if that might be a better way of saying that. But yeah, what are some of those signs that you've experienced with
For
that?
me, it's
Yeah.
definitely anxiety,
Yeah,
a little
that's a
bit
good
of
one. That's definitely a good one. Yeah.
anxiety, confusion, feeling
Yeah.
tired.
Yeah.
And that is, being way more aware of my energy than I used to in the past because it was very easy to shut my emotions down, to shrink, to
Yeah.
people please, because that survival mode was familiar. So it
Yeah.
was easy to be there. And so you got
Yeah.
used to ignoring the anxiety and the exhaustion.
Yeah. Well, I know for me, I would attribute it to something else. Like sometimes you don't see that correlation, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm tired because I'm running in the gym and I've
Yeah.
got different businesses. And you're like, well, no, tired because
You
you're
got
speaking
energy
with someone
vampires.
who's being ambiguous
Yeah.
and it's causing you uncertainty. And then
Hmm.
I'm the kind of person when I'm in an uncertainty, I analyze,
Yeah.
overanalyze. So how can I figure that out? How can I understand them? How can
Hmm.
I? It's not so much about understanding them. Your ambiguity causes me anxiety. That is enough for me to say this is something that's not serving me
Yeah.
Yeah.
without trying to figure out the who's
Yeah.
and the whys
Like,
and the
why do we
hows.
have to necessarily,
Yeah.
like, honestly, I mean, I get it. Like, we don't want to, like, necessarily dismiss people, right? Because
Right.
genuinely, we're good people. We believe everybody's good people and we want to, like, be good to everyone, right? But reality, not everybody's going to get along with you. There's just some personalities are never going to meld,
Yeah.
you
And
know?
seeing those patterns. It's not
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe somebody disrespected you one time, they had a bad day. But when it's a pattern of the same thing over and over, and then they're like, well, I'm sorry, but the pattern continues, either they're not sorry or they're not able to change what they're doing.
Yeah.
So even though you maybe understand where it's coming from, it doesn't mean that you need to deal with it just because you
Yeah.
understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fell into that trap so many times. Well, I understand why they did that. They're good people.
It's
And I
easy
just
to
let
make
it slide.
excuses,
Yeah, I let
right?
it slide. And then, yeah, it starts to bother you because it usually ends up to me like coming back worse, right? Because you've
Yeah.
let the things go for so long.
Yeah.
And then it's
Mhm.
hard to curb it after that. Like
Oh
once you
yeah.
let things slide so long.
I mean, I
Yeah.
look at my past marriage of who I was and the things that I put up with, and I'm like, who was this person?
Yeah.
It's so sad. My self-worth was in the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a hard, first of all, it takes an intelligent person to kind of be able to go back and look at that thing and assess those things without, because most people just want to try and avoid even thinking about it. But to kind of step out of yourself and look at your past self and sort of psychoanalyze that, you've got to be, first of all, in a better place, but also just know, like, that was your journey, that was part of your journey, and there's nothing, it's not, you don't need to be ashamed of it, you don't need to be, let it make you depressed or any of that. That's just everybody's got that journey they got to go on, and that was just a part of yours. And the good news is you've learned from that and grew from that, right?
And turned it
So
into being
And
able
it's
to
just,
help
yeah.
people with it,
And just
yeah,
right?
yeah, and help other
taking
people with it, right?
the
Exactly.
lessons. And, I didn't realize how much at the end of the relationship I had just shut down my emotions. And then when I
Mm-hmm.
followed a lady, Dr. Romani,
Mm-hmm.
who talks a lot about like emotional abuse type stuff, she
Mm-hmm.
calls it gray rock. So I didn't know there was a term, but it's like a high level of survival mode.
Mm-hmm.
We shut it down. Our conversations were very surface level. I'm not going to try to tell you about my feelings anymore. I'm not going to try to get you to change. I'm just going to be in the moment. I'm going to be a zombie so that I can survive getting through this. And it wasn't
Yeah.
until I started talking to someone at BetterHelp, I'm like, I haven't cried. I haven't been mad. I haven't been anxious. Like I just shut it all down. And I didn't realize how long it was going to take me to
Mm.
wake back up some of those emotions I just wouldn't
Mm.
allow myself to have for a long
Yeah.
time.
I did the same thing. I didn't have a lot of those emotions either. And so I
Mm-hmm.
can definitely understand it's difficult. I still struggle with some of the emotions, but
Mm-hmm.
right now I'm going through perimenopause. So it's like fun.
Oh yeah,
My
then you're
emotions
going.
are
I'm
all over the
52, so
place.
you've got perimenopause. Went through breast cancer
Oh,
in a
goodness
relationship where
gracious.
I'm fighting with somebody all the time, and you're like, good
Yeah.
Yeah,
grief.
it does
Speaking of
a
not
lot.
having
It
peace,
really does a lot to your brain and your body, going through all of the emotional things. And then you got the physical symptoms of the, hormonal things and all of it. So kudos to you, girlfriend. You look great. I'm so like blessed to know you and that you're like taking your whatever you went through and turning it into something that builds other people up, right? Builds so
I mean, that is my true passion, just helping people. And I didn't realize how much I was already doing it in the gym and helping people. And just, I'm a relationship person that fuels me, the purpose at the gym. Like, we've got so many people that are our biggest promoters right now. I've got one guy this morning, he's like, I just appreciate your commitment to growth. And I see the three of you coming in here, really caring about the people and caring about the gym. And it really matters to us that people know that and see that. Like you said, we're calling people that didn't come into the gym. Are you on vacation? Are you okay? How's your
Yeah.
diet or something going on? Do you need help? Like, we've created something besides, Crunch Fitness and Lifetime Fitness aren't doing that.
No,
They
I was
just
gonna
want
say
no, I
that's
was
money.
that's
gonna
very rare. That's
yeah.
rare.
I was gonna say, like, I haven't heard, I mean, like the last time I really talked to anyone about a gym was a small private gym. It was a coach. He had a
Yeah.
small thing. And actually, like he was really like kind of very personable. And I found that very interesting. But yeah, your average gym is just these it's, you know, you just go in, work out. You're not really like getting to know the people necessarily. And
Yeah.
the only reason they're calling you is because you owe them money half the time,
Right.
Right.
right? You know, they don't
That's
know if you
100%
showed up
right.
to use their machine necessarily.
Yeah, that's
You know,
100%.
it's like they're
But
like,
that's
as
what
long
makes you
as,
guys different, right?
yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's
Oh, God, we
amazing.
did testimonials. I have a friend who's helping me with some social media. So she came in and I was like interviewing people. I'm like, you're all going to make me cry. The testimonials were so amazing. And, you know, we love the people as much as they love us. And we really care. Like I said, the workouts are something that they're hard, but they're built for longevity. They're built for our age and our body style. And it's just great to have people really see that.
Well, let me ask you, because we're almost towards the end here. I'm really curious. What were some of the boundaries that were like the hardest for you to set with people?
Mm. Boundaries were non-existent for me for such a long time.
Yeah, but same. It's the same with me,
Yeah,
as I know. Yeah,
giving
it's
people unlimited access
yeah,
to me
yeah,
was hard, feeling like because like feeling bad not responding to somebody's text
hmm
or telling somebody no that hasn't heard that from you
hmm
for the first time.
hmm
Honestly, my relationship with my mom is difficult. The realization of this stuff has been hard. Our relationship was never good. She's older, she's struggling with health. My aunt is helping her. When I visit with her, I have to be a different person. She's
yeah,
86 years old. There's no changing it. There's no talking to her about it. And it's been that way for quite a long time.
yeah,
So sometimes just saying, I don't have the bandwidth to even visit right now. I don't have the energy to be that other person who acts like this behavior is okay in a moment. And like I said,
mm,
it's that shorter bandwidth that has helped me with boundaries because I just physically do not have
yeah,
the energy or the capacity
yeah,
for being fake and being bullshit and not being myself.
yeah.
And
That's
that's
interesting.
getting stronger. So
Yeah, that's
it's
interesting.
challenging relationship with my mom, a challenging with some people that had a different version of me in the past. Like you said, some people leave, some people stay, but the relationships change. People that really care about you and love you, they want to see that change. They want to see you do better, but not everybody does.
Not everybody does. I think there's a lot of people that sometimes just secretly don't want to see that, and they may act like they're proud of you or whatever. You know, you could call it whatever you want, closet narcissist, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but there are those people out there, and there are those people out there that are close to you that are going to feel that way when you start setting boundaries. In fact, it's interesting you say your mom. That's one of the areas in my life that I'm struggling with setting those boundaries with. It's not easy to do, like, because they're just used to you being a certain way all the time, right? And now all of a sudden it's like, wait a second, you're telling me no all of a sudden? Like, you're not allowed to tell me no. It's like, no, I am allowed to tell you no. And
And
not only that, I'm going to keep doing it.
it's
It kind
also
of feels
funny
nice.
it's that
Yeah.
my church, a lot of the messages, things that I'm living in life
hmm
are they hit home when
hmm
I'm in church. I've been to different groups,
hmm
community groups, networking groups, like
hmm
the Rotary. And because I'm fit, I look a certain way, act a certain way, I will have people just look me up and down and just give
hmm
me the shittiest looks. And you want to
Interesting.
just turn away and be like, okay, no, I'm not dealing with that. And then walk away. And then
Yeah.
church is like, learning to treat people how God would treat people,
Yeah.
not how they're treating you. And so
Right.
that's been something for me. Like, I'm going to have to deal with personalities of people that may not initially like me, but knowing that that's their own issues and insecurity. So
hmm
continuing to push and be like, hey, I'm Erin, nice to meet you, and still be that loving, caring person. And I can see their kind of guard let down. But in the moment,
hmm
I just want to be like, you too, lady, and just
Yeah,
go the
right.
other direction. And so it is a hard change to do that. And then like our last
Yeah.
sermon at church is we're going through the 10 commandments and honor thy mother and father. And part of
Yeah.
the message was is if you're not dealing with your parents or taking care of your parents, that's not what God wants either. So that's been like since the past, that was just last Sunday. That's something that I've been struggling with a little
Yeah.
bit.
I don't struggle with that. You know why?
Hmm.
Look, maybe I'm mean about this. I don't know. But my thoughts are you, we, right, as a person, as a human, we should be taking care of ourselves, right? And part of that is eating healthy, exercise, all of it, right? I don't have to preach to you, Erin, you know, and
Mhm.
Justin knows too, and most people on here.
Mhm.
And so, like, I don't think it's fair that they get to go do those things and put themselves in poor health, expecting someone else to take care of them when we still are full of life, you
Mm.
know? I mean, I planned my life where I would be able to be physically and mentally aware and able to move about life freely, you know,
Mm.
in us at by a certain age, whether my kids wanted to come with me or not, like they would have, you know, they still have that choice if they want to. But I'm saying like to it now, if it was unexpected, right? And my mom really needed me, sure. But I'm saying like in general, I feel like it's our responsibilities and up to a certain age that for the most part, you shouldn't expect your children to take care of you. I don't expect my children to take care of me. Like, I think
Mm.
that's wrong to expect my children to take care of me. I honestly do. You
Mhm.
know, now once I get really old, yes, somebody's gonna have to take care of me. Hopefully it's just a nurse.
Mhm.
Well, for hundreds of years, probably thousands of years, that's why you had kids was to have someone to take
Mhm.
care of you, right?
Right. That's not why I had kids.
No, I know.
It,
And I'm just saying,
yeah.
like there is, I know there's kind of sort of this built-in expectation of that though, right?
Yeah, no, and I think like that's my personal opinion. Like I
Yeah.
never agreed. I felt like I never agreed to those rules.
Mm.
You
Well, and
know?
Anna mentioned something too. It's generational, you
Yes.
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
like you said, you see I see what happened with my mom. I see the generational trauma. She's completely unaware
Yeah.
of her behavior,
Yep.
the guilt tripping and the negative
I don't
Yeah.
things that
believe
she
that
has
some of the
said.
things that they're just necessarily unaware. I just feel like back then, you know, in that generation, it was just acceptable for
Mm.
them
And they're
to,
also, Arrested Development. I had an experience with my mom where I was up there near her birthday. There was food or something on the counter that someone made for her that was sitting out. So I threw it away and got her something else, like a different sweet treat or something for her birthday. So my aunt comes up and she comes running to my aunt and she's like, she threw away my birthday dessert. And I was like, this is something like a 10-year-old child
yeah,
type
Yeah.
of behavior.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I
A
It has
hundred
know
been that
percent.
way.
you have seen that from people that they're stuck where that trauma
Yes. Yep.
affected them. And even now, like we can't get my mom to drink enough water. And my aunt helps her there in Pennsylvania, and I'm in Georgia. And my aunt will drink more water. And she's like, but my dad would say, you can't drink any more water because we're going this road trip and we're not stopping to go to the bathroom. That's
Yeah,
something that was told to my
yeah,
mom as a child and still rings in her head as a
yeah.
reason why she doesn't drink enough water at 86 years old.
Yeah, we don't realize how some stuff really does kind of like stick with us subconsciously. It's just like kind of automatic. And then too, well, she is older and maybe her mind is starting to go and stuff like that. You know, I know my grandma's a little more, you know, kind of sometimes childlike, you know, in certain situations. And, you know, she's 80 something years old, you know, she's
Mhm.
I don't even know. I'm like, holy smokes, right? But
Mhm.
And I could have understanding for that. I'm just saying in general, like my mom's literally 18 years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I feel that she has enough knowledge to be taking care of herself and should, if you're taking care of yourself, we could live a decent long life without expecting people to take care of us,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And I just,
And
yeah,
just with the hormones, with the health, with the
yeah.
awareness, it all comes back to no one's coming to save you. If you want something different, you have to make changes. If you
Yes,
want a change, you have to be the change. And
yes.
it's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. And it
Yeah.
just starts with little tiny habits
Yeah.
that can
Yes.
make a world of difference.
Yeah.
You,
We've talked about habit stacking and things like this on the show. There's also something like I always hear this, we've got this subconscious thing, we've got to make these changes. And I always ask like, well, how, right? Everybody kind of wants the quick answer. And the reality is when you have something stuck in your subconscious like that, like that's where the self-sabotage stuff even comes from. Is from that subconscious trauma that's stuck in your subconscious that's telling you you're not meant for that. You're not meant for that life, really, right? So you're doing the thing, but you don't actually really believe it subconsciously. So how do you get rid of that? How do you erase that? How do you and there's no erasing, but how do you reframe it? Um, if you guys have ever read, I'm just going to mention a book. If there's a book called
Mhm.
the Millionaire Mindset, and they talk about this, and one of the things, there's a physical component with your subconscious, and throughout the book they have you do these things where you make these declarative statements about yourself, like I'm going to do this thing in so many months and it's going to be this way and all that, and then you put your finger on your side of your temple and you tell yourself, I have a millionaire mind, right? And that sounds like totally corny. It's like, okay, cool, whatever. It actually, like, subconsciously there is, and this has been studied, but there is a physical component to reprogramming your subconscious. That's why gym is so good. Like physical stuff is so good while, going to the gym while listening to positive instruction, right? Maybe an audiobook or whatever, really helpful. But just doing small things like that every so often, like a repeating thing like that to yourself, can help to reshape your subconscious. It sounds crazy, but it works. So that's just one example. But obviously, there's a lot more work on top of that you have to do depending on where you're at. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's really digging and finding out where it started from. Like going back to your childhood, getting deep in those emotions that aren't comfortable,
Hmm. Yeah.
sitting with, did an exercise of reparenting yourself, like talk
yeah,
That's
about
great. Right. Right.
being really uncomfortable
Yep.
and
Yep.
knowing that that parent and what you needed and expected from them is never coming. That's something big to have to let go of.
yeah.
That is a big one.
With just not even with just parents, just siblings too, or family, right? Like
Friends, partners, marriages, right?
that relationship dynamic that you think should be there is not,
Mhm.
and it's not going to happen. So you should just like, yeah, it's hard to just say, okay, well, I got to move on, or
Yep. Yep.
I got to love them from afar.
Yep.
Right. And just self-love is not selfish. It's absolutely necessary. And I've been every day I'll do a short talking head reel talking about protein, weight training. Today it was saying no and putting yourself first. Just little lessons that I've learned that
Mhm.
make such a huge difference. Like the first little no, it might be so hard and it might make you feel guilty, but it is truly freeing and it gets easier as you go. And the more that you focus on yourself and your businesses and you work and your family and things that are important around to you, the less time you have for that kind of crap.
Yep. Yep. Well, listen, Aaron, we are at the
I
end.
know
We've
we're
gone a little
over.
bit over, but this is such
Yeah,
a
it's
good
been great.
conversation. This has been really good.
This has been great with you guys. Thank you
Yeah,
so much for having me. Thanks for the
absolutely.
great questions, Justin. I
Yeah,
appreciate you both, and this has been great.
absolutely.
Well,
Well,
we
we
want to hear
appreciate
you
you.
come back soon and tell us more because we can never
Mhm.
get enough of people that come on here. We're just
Yeah,
our friends come and never disappoint that come on here.
yeah,
Yeah, well, I appreciate you guys for doing this. You're,
Yeah.
out here changing lives, continuing to working on yourself, and that's huge. And I just love being around like-minded people that want
Yeah,
to
you
love it.
push
too.
and change and help
I've seen
others.
a lot. I've seen you come a long way. I'm so happy for you.
You
Yeah,
too,
it's
Pansy.
Yeah.
amazing.
So,
Yeah, it's amazing
yeah,
to
and
watch.
yeah, we're still working on a lot behind the scenes, but we're rolling out some
You're
stuff
getting there,
here.
man. We're getting there.
Yeah, we're
Um,
definitely getting there.
well, one more time, Aaron, plug the gym and how can people get in touch with you?
Facebook is the best way to get in touch with me. Just my name, Erin Puricelli. You'll see Midlife Health Coach.
Mhm.
DM me, reach out there. Our gym is Apex Fitness in Roswell, Georgia. So if you're in the Roswell area, we would love to have you. We're
Love it.
enjoying it. We
I
brought the
think we
fun
should come
back.
down there
You
and
guys should
have
all come. We're
We
let's
having
have
this
a
should.
meetup.
4th of
Let's
July
freaking have a
event,
meetup.
Listen,
and we're
I'm
doing this
in
Wait, are you
Philly
doing
crazy.
a
and want to
4th of
move
July
there.
event?
Yeah. So
All
I'm
right,
gonna
look
come
me up
down.
for sure.
Yes.
You're doing a 4th of July event? Oh, I might have to drive down there for that.
Are
Let's
Mhm.
I
you?
go.
would
The
love to do
workout's
that.
nothing I made up, but there's a way for everybody to get through it.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna end the stream, but thank you all for being here. And by the way, we're gonna hang out for a little bit afterwards if you have questions. But I don't know, Aaron, it's up to you. I want to respectful of your time, but we hang out usually for a little while afterwards
Yeah,
if
I
you want to
got
just chill.
until 10 till 9. So I've got
Okay,
like 8 minutes. If anybody's
beautiful.
got questions or wants
Okay,
to
well,
dig in
we'll let you
anything,
guys, yeah, do
I've got a
that.
little
But
time too. Yeah.
till then,
Beautiful.
peace out. We'll see everyone.
Yep.
Have a good
Thank you
one.
guys.
Thank you.
See you soon.